Knowledge is Power Podcast Live with your host, Tony Redfro, and my co-hosts, LaDonna Sherwood and Francis Larkins.
Knowledge is Power Podcast Live starts now.
I was just saying, I got everybody on time tonight. I can't believe this. I got Terry Roy, LaDonna Sherwood. Let's see here. Got Chris Jones, Unc, and I've got Francis Larkin, and I've got our guest, Coach George Tick Price. Hello, Coach.
How you doing, man? It's good to see everybody.
Man. Everybody's
you
fine,
too,
man. It's good to see you, Coach.
Pleasure.
Everything's a pleasure seeing you and having you here on board with us. It is great to have everybody here with us. And tonight we're going to talk about the new book called Locker Room Talk. Coach, first of all, before we get into talk about the book, The Locker Room Talk, let everyone know, they know you from being an ex-coach here in Beaumont at Lamar University, but they want to know you had a career before this, and you were somewhere else before this, and before that, and you was a coach. So kind of break that down to it before we get to talk about the book. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, Tony, guys, I've been a lot of places. I got a chapter in my book called "Coaches Are Hard to Be Fired." But I started off my career at a small private school called Roanoke College. I started off making like $8,000 a year. I wanted to coach that bad. It wasn't about the money. It was the passion. I graduated from college. Wasn't sure what I was going to do. I didn't get any NBA tryouts. I had an opportunity to go overseas, but I didn't want to go. But I wanted to give back to the game. So a Division III job came open called at Roanoke College in Salem, Virginia. I played basketball at Virginia Commonwealth and Virginia Tech. But when I graduated from Virginia Tech, I was at a crossroads into where I go from here. And so our head coach said there's a job at Roanoke College just came available. I think I can help you get it. I think you'll be a good coach. And so I went to interview, and I was afforded the opportunity where I was offered the job. And I told them I'll take the job if I'll be the top assistant coach. And once I got there, the next day, the head coach met me and took me to my office. And so I asked him, I said, well, where's the other assistant coach? He said, well, you the only assistant. That's why you the top assistant coach. That told me right there, man, I got to negotiate a little bit better. So I coached there, and we went to NCAA the 3 years I was there. And from there, I helped him write a book on the matchup zone. And a coach from University of Tennessee, Chattanooga came one weekend, and we dissected the matchup zone. And he was impressed with me. And an opportunity came a few months later to hire me in Chattanooga. I stayed there for 5 years, and we went on the NCAA tournament. And I stayed there and went back to Virginia Tech and coached 2 years where I played. And that's when I got introduced to the business. We got fired at Virginia Tech in 2 years. I left Virginia Tech and went with Oliver Purnell at Old Dominion University. And after 2 years, Auburn University came calling. So I went to Auburn University, and they gave me a 2-year contract. And with that 2-year contract, we got fired again. And so I went with the head coach at Auburn to University of New Orleans. A guy named was Tommy Joe Eagles. He died of a heart attack after a couple months there.
Wow. And, I remember that, coach.
Yeah. And I became the interim head coach after he died. The AD painted a real gloomy picture. You've never been a head coach. You got 7 new players, and you probably won't have a good year. But at the end of the year, we're going to open it up for a national search. I just need you to hold it together through the year. So I called home and told my parents that I've been offered the interim job, and my mother said, "Look, man, you're not a band-aid. You're a surgeon. You go out there and perform what you've been practicing to do your whole career." And after about a month, University of New Orleans offered me a 3-year contract. We
Oh,
went
wow.
to the NCAA tournament, uh, went on the NIT. Then I became a real hot head coach. My name became very prominent in college basketball. Then I went on to University of Memphis, stayed there a couple years, and then came to McNeese because I got fired at Memphis. I went to McNeese and went to the NCAA tournament at McNeese. They hadn't been there since the Joe Dumas day in like 20, 30 years, man.
Oh, wow.
And Lake Charles, as you know, Tony, is a very polarized city.
Very.
And just through athletics, you know, athletes teach fans a lesson. They put their hands in the huddle. It's not black and white. It's a team.
Right.
And you can learn a lot through athletics. But the community came together and started supporting McNeese basketball. And then after 5 years there, we got fired again. I went to New Orleans with, University of North Texas with Johnny Jones, who I hired at Memphis. And then stayed there for a year, and Steve Rockefeller at Lamar came calling. And it puts my wife and me back closer to her mom at Baton Rouge. Her mother took sick and passed away, but we were able to be closer to her. And from there, Rock got fired, so that means the whole staff got fired. Gave me a job as athletic coordinator, and I did that role for a year. Then the president had a interim VP position open of student affairs. I got the job there, and then they fired Pat Knight about 6 months later, and they asked me to be the interim coach for 5 games, the last 5 games of the season. And from there, we ended up winning, and they offered me a 3-year contract at Lamar. And then every year it was almost like a rollover. I ended up being the coach at Lamar about 7 years, 5 years, or something like that. And then after that, a new AD came in, a new president, and I guess they didn't like what I was doing, so they have it on the road again.
Yep.
So right now I'm in Baton Rouge chilling with my wife and grandbaby.
All
Right.
right. Oh, that's it.
Wow.
I mean,
Absolutely.
that's the life of being a coach.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
oh yeah.
That's part of it. That's part of the makeup.
All part of it. You can't take it personal.
No.
And I ended up doing a color analyst work for ESPN Plus during college basketball season.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I worked with the Southland Conference, University of New Orleans, and ESPN Plus. And while I was doing that, in my spare time, I was writing my book. And that's how I end up with this book, Locker Room Talk.
Let's talk about the book Locker Room. Don't give all the ingredients that's in it. Let's just brush through a little bit and tell us just a little bit about it so we can encourage everyone to go out and buy this book from you, okay?
Well, I can give you the juicy stuff, but that's a tease.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's it.
For those people that
Absolutely.
but the locker room is a player sanctuary, a place where men build camaraderie. Conversations range from sex, parties, hot women, who's who in basketball, and oftentimes a bunch of rhetoric and opinions about nothing. What's seen and said in the locker room must stay in the locker room. That's a gentleman's agreement.
That's right.
Privacy and not for public knowledge is all part of being in the locker room with a bunch of guys that's your teammates. All the tea is spilled. The ladies' lounge is a place that's visited often. Is your girl someone guys talk about, or a girl guys wonder about? Is she a freak or a lady? What girl had what guy? All of that is discussed in the locker room. There's a private space for athletes to do team building. Your leader must exhibit maturity, character, and leadership. It should be a place where culture and expectations are discussed. A place where players-only meetings occur. It should also be a sanctuary where preparation takes place about the opponent. Team spirit and team building are connected. And Lord knows, let's not talk about the shower area. This radio, I mean, this is podcast, so we can't go there. But you see some interesting things walking through the locker room, headed to the shower. I'll leave it at that.
All right.
Locker room talk. So there go LaDonna's question from the other.
No, I'm not answering those questions. I got to protect the innocent at all times.
Yeah, I've heard a few stories about the locker room. My little nephew played football for University of Arkansas.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, he didn't share everything, but yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
No, you can't, but you go through pre-game speeches, game plans, scouting opponents. You talk about practice for the next day, your preparation. A lot of things are discussed. Academics. We have study hall, not in the locker room, but these are strategic plans to make sure our kids get degrees. At Lamar, I graduated 100% of our players.
All right.
Absorb their senior year. So I'm real proud of the fact that we did accomplish that and get our young men ready for life that's coming ahead and the challenges of life that they're going to be forced.
Now, Coach, what years were you at Lamar? You gave us a timeline, but not specific years.
I got there in 2000.
I was about to say, I think it was like not long after I graduated from high school. I graduated from Central in 1999.
2007, I was there, and I left in 2021.
So
for a while, at different
2007?
different capacities, yeah.
Okay, so that was like after I got back from the military.
Yeah.
Were you
were
like
Central?
Yes, sir, I was. I was
Do
just
you know?
about to say.
I had one of my best players from Central,
Yes,
Edward
sir.
Garrett.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Edward Garrett.
Garrett. Yes, sir. That's my cousin.
Yeah. Well, he was like one of the leading 3-point percentage shooters
Yes,
in the
sir.
country when I
Yes,
had
sir.
him.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I remember that.
And you said that was from 2000 to 2007, or?
No, 2007 to 2021.
Okay, yeah. That was during my time. I thought you looked very familiar. I was very appreciative to some of the people that you recruited.
Yeah, thank you. You know, what we did.
I caught it, friend. I caught it.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of green at all of this.
From Memphis.
Oh, okay. You from Memphis? Omar Sneed played for us over there in Memphis. He was from Beaumont.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yes, indeed.
Speaking of recruiting, like I said, I went through the process, like I said, with my nephew. Was that the hardest part of coaching to you?
Not really. That's the easy part, is to find them. The hardest part is closing the deal to get them to come. Different schools have their variety of strengths and weaknesses, and it's really what the kid is looking for. I recruited character, not characters, and so they had to be guys who was going to handle their business in the classroom, going to be low maintenance off the court, and then once we hit the court, give me everything you got, because that's what I'm giving you back. So that's pretty much the way it was with my programs. But I love the players that I've coached. They all had from different socioeconomic backgrounds. The music was varied. I learned more rap music. At 60-some years old, I knew word for word. But also, I'm old school. I can go back to Al Green if I need to. So I had to make that adjustment each year, because it's a different culture of kids, and that you got to be able to relate to those kids. But recruiting wasn't as hard for me because I knew I had to identify who was going to be important in that kid's decision. And once I identified that, I got to know that person. And then once you get them on your side, either he going to be for you or against you.
It's funny that you say that because that's exactly how it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I must add that you had a phenomenal a team when I was in school there, Lamar. So, I mean, the guys were just, and it seemed like the program, while during my time there, it seemed like it had grown so much. So we were very, the student engagement was there. Yep. So, yeah.
Were you there the same year that Lamar actually made it to play Duke?
Played who?
Duke.
No, that was before I got there.
Okay. Somebody had texted me and was like, "Was he there when we played Duke?"
No. Mike, I can't think of Mike's last name, but
Beta Marco.
No, not a Beta Marco. He was after Beta Marco. Mike Dean.
Yeah.
Mike Dean was the coach.
Yeah. That's way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So it seems like in the book that you wrote, because you called my number a couple times with some stuff that I want to know, especially about the locker room talk. I'm very interested in that. At one point, I thought I had wanted to be a sports analyst. Don't know where that came from, but I kind of decided against that a little bit later after I found out how many hours I was going to have to be on the road and away from my family.
Yeah.
So I just, so it seems like your book is appealing to both male and female.
It is.
How did you come up with those hot topics that you pinpointed? Like, why did you find that those things that you mentioned as hot topics were a thing to kind of push and promote your book?
Well, basketball has always been the fabric in which I'm made of. I started off playing the game at like 7 or 8 years old. And the way I got started was probably different than most people's journey. I used to go watch the grown men play. I was brought up in Liberty View Playground as a project. And I used to sit on the concrete slab and watch them play. And one day they needed one more guy, and I'm like 8 years old, 7 years old. And this jailhouse bully named Bertram, he'd been in and out of jail. He said, "Hey, boy, bring your punk beep out here and play." And I'm scared to say no, so I went out there, and they beat me up pretty good. I got bloody nose and torn clothes. They knocking me all over the place. So I went home that day.
He must have played at Jacobs Park.
I was too scared to quit. So I went home, and my mama asked me what was wrong with me, what happened. I told them what happened in the playground, and I never would go back. My dad said, "Oh, you going back? You're going to go back every day unless it's snow on the ground." Before long, I started growing, and I was just as tall as those men, and I became bigger. And then I started giving the punishing whippings. Then I started developing, and I grew, and I always played up. So when I was third grade, I was playing on the sixth grade team.
Oh, wow.
I got into high school. I went 10th grade. I was playing on the 12th on the varsity team. And then I became all region, all state. And I was recruited by a lot of schools, and I ended up going to Virginia Commonwealth my first year, and then 2 years, and then I graduated from Virginia Tech. And that's pretty much, after that, my career in coaching took off.
So you're originally from Virginia?
Yeah, Danville, Virginia.
Oh,
2 up, 2 down.
So did you ever want to play professionally? I thought I heard you say at the beginning of our opening that you kind of wanted to play professionally, and if so, what team?
Well, I did want to play professionally, but my senior year I stayed hurt. I ended up cracking a bone in my foot, fifth metatarsal, and then on my shooting hand I ripped my skin between my fingers, and I had like 5 stitches, so I was out like twice. Yeah, I know. It doesn't sound too good, but it was bad. We were at St. Bonaventure, but I stayed hurt for some reason my senior year. And so the idea of playing professionally, I never got the opportunity to play in the NBA. I was just as good before the injuries, but I had to go with Plan B, and so I
Right.
stayed around the game and coached.
Well, we had a back-to-back high school basketball team here in Beaumont. Went back-to-back to state and won the state. The Beaumont United Timberwolves. So that's some basketball stars here. That if you was in the coaching business, you can recruit from the backyard back here. You know these guys here.
Well, you know what? If I was still coaching, that would be fertile ground for me. I know Coach David Green. He and I go way back. I mean, years. I'm talking about 20-some years.
Mm-hmm.
But we were able to recruit some players out of Beaumont. When I was at Lamar, our whole philosophy was to start within and work our way out.
Yeah.
And so we had a couple guys. Kaysen played for us from Ozan, the little point guard.
Right.
Good. And Tyrant, TJ Atwood from Central. We had him on the team. Then we went over to get Colton Wise brought over in Nederland.
Yeah.
And so we had a few guys from the area, and they all did well. It's a tricky thing when you recruit local players, though.
Yeah.
Because if they're good, they'll play. But if they're not playing, you got people in the community that's saying, "Man, I'll leave, man, because you should be playing," and then all of a sudden the kids start, really get their mind twisted up and they're not locked in.
So let me ask you this: what made you decide to write this book?
I had been planning on writing this book for a number of years. I collecting data the whole time, and I had a little free time when I was doing TV with ESPN Plus. I'd work like 3 days a week, and like the other 3-4 days, I started compiling all the data that I had put together, and I started organizing my chapters. Humble Beginnings was one of my chapters. Locker room, inside the locker room was one. A coach's wife, and that's what people don't understand. The coach's wife probably had the toughest job because she's the coach of the coach.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Listen to all them ignorant comments in the stands about her husband, but she got to keep it classy the whole time. And then she got to deal with me after a loss. I'm not easy to live with.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine that.
After a loss, man, that's you put so much time in your preparation, and then you come home, and she'll meet you at the door. She got a sandwich and your soup, and we sit there and look at the game after the game.
Yeah.
She sit there the whole time with me, but she's a good basketball wife because she knows the game. We talk the game. She knows when to shut up. She knows how to get out the way. She also knows, the game where we can have an intelligent discussion. So I met my wife at a Final Four. So I knew then, when we talked basketball on our first date, and then our first few days, we had to go to church. It wasn't none of that dating. Mm-hmm. We were going to church, and I knew then she was the one for me.
Yeah, well, she's classy. Tell her I say hello.
Yeah, I will, man.
I never forget when you all first come to Beaumont. What year was that? 2010. Y'all bought a car from one of my dealerships.
Yeah, we bought a car.
I tell you, that was a hard sale. Yeah, that was a hard sale because she controlled everything.
Yeah,
all wives do.
Yeah,
I was about to say you heard him.
She had some spunk in her.
Yeah, she just letting you know, man. We looking for a deal. That's what the whole thing was about.
So Tick, we kind of lost our Facebook connection earlier. I don't know what it is. They think somebody was trying to get into my account or whatever. But we are on right now on YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and I would just flip it over and have this show recorded on Facebook after we have competed here. But so we're still there, and we'll be on Spotify. We'll be on Google Sounds. We're everywhere. So I want the message to get out about your book.
We got.
Yeah, I want you to make sure. We just got a bad connection with Facebook today. I don't know what happened, but anyway, that's why we invest in a lot of social media accounts so that we can keep the show going. But I've got some folks online here that just love you, like Mary Williams. She said, "Hey, Coach, we miss you and so much here in Beaumont."
Hey, Mary.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
And there she go bragging about the Beaumont Timberwoods.
Hey, I know her and Joe. We all go to church together.
Oh yeah, and y'all.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
John Adolph.
John Adolph.
Said a good word, but
my friend.
Oh yeah.
Hey, listen. Now, what is your plans on? What do you plan on doing now, Tick? I know you're still a young man. You still got coaching in your blood. I know you got something in store. I know it's something there that you've got going on, or you got your mind on. And the reason why I'm saying this because I've been in the car business 46 years. Okay, and it's in my DNA. And now listen to this. Before I was in an automobile business, I was in the radio at the age of 13. So what I'm saying is, once you get it in your blood, look what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
So you can't keep it out. So even right now today at my age, I'm saying, well, let me see if I can find me another dealership to purchase so I can keep it going. But I know you've got your eye in the fire somewhere. But coaching is more of like a networking and knowing who you know. And do you have plans on going back coaching again?
Right now, I'm just kind of wide open. It's a different culture now.
Yes, it is.
With this. They got the NIL, which is the name, image, and likeness.
Mm-hmm.
You got to recruit a kid. You got to have some business people to be able to give them money.
It's co-sponsor.
Yeah, that's right. It's illegal, but it's legal.
Right.
That's a double-edged sword thing there. So
and then the transfer portal, man. If a kid not happy, they leave right away.
Right.
It's no loyalty involved. I'm a little bit more old school. I'm loyal to my players, and I expect them to be loyal to me. But right now, I got about 2 or 3 things that I'm looking at doing. I'm gonna see what this ESPN thing takes me.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got some business ventures outside of coaching and TV that I'm taking a good look at. But I'm real open-minded at this point.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good, man. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. And but always say when that happened, when God closes one door, He opens up a bigger door somewhere else. He's amazing. It's something we can't even describe how, we can't imagine the things that He has in store for. And we stay focused, keep the faith, walk His path, we got it made.
Absolutely. I know you mentioned grandkids, because I got 9 of them. Has that slowed you down some and changed your focus some on coaching?
It has. I'm here in Baton Rouge. My wife and I were one of them, Bella. She's in Baton Rouge. That's where we ended up moving. And then I've got 2 in New York, which is a little bit further away. But we just FaceTimed my 3 granddaughters on Sunday, man. And it just lifts you up when you see them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And
it changes you.
It does. So anytime I get a chance to see them or FaceTime, we have Bella quite often because she's right here near us. And I have it like on the weekend, we go get pizza and maybe we'll read a book and play games. It's been
grandpa
fun.
Stuff.
Well, that's it. I still love the game of basketball. I love football, and I just can't wait till those seasons are around so that I can start watching it all over again.
Yeah. I know you got one more question about that locker room.
Yeah,
I know you look at you grinning.
Go ahead, Francis.
Oh no, I just want to know the team. I want to know the team.
Well,
I'm
you gotta
so
get the
interested
book.
in that.
You
That's
gotta
one
get the
place I've
book.
never had an opportunity to visit.
Now that culprit that really want to know about the locker room, she jumped off.
Yeah, she's backstage.
Well, you can go to Amazon
Awesome.
and you can order it off of Amazon.
Coach, how do we get this? How do we get this book?
Yeah, tell us about the book.
Amazon link.
Amazon, show it on the screen. Wait a minute. I'm gonna do this. How about
you got to go to the Amazon link, and you'll see this.
Hold it up. Yeah. Locker room talk.
Locker room talk.
Locker room talk.
All right,
There we go.
Price. Or my wife said you can Google Tick Price on Amazon and it'll pop up. Tick Price Locker Room Talk, and it'll pop up.
Okay. Is it on Audible?
Yeah, it's on Kindle, hardcover,
yes,
and soft copy.
Awesome. I'm a audiobooks guy myself.
There it is.
And it's really good to have the hardback or the real book in your hand while you're listening to it. So be looking, Coach. Like I said, I've been knowing of a Tick Price since 1999. Central High School with Edward Garrett and Skip Skolowski. When Central won state in 1999. So Beaumont, like you said, Coach, Beaumont is ripe for NBA stars. And we have Perk is who we got now, and Perkins is spitting country little Beaumont verbiage all over the place. So.
Perk is taking it to another level, man. I'm really proud of what he's doing. I had a Beaumont guy on my staff when I was at Lamar, Brandon Chappelle. He was from Beaumont.
Yeah.
Chappelle.
Right.
Sure. He played with Perk.
Yeah. Look like Francis might be ordering that book over there.
Yeah, I'm on it.
I see you.
I'm on it.
She got quiet, and her head was down the whole time. So
getting ready to do it myself. So
she tried. What Francis trying to see if she's in one of them chapters.
Yeah, I called my number a couple times.
Yeah.
My next book I might put you in there.
Y'all called that number a couple times. I said,
This book is more to this book than just basketball, though. This book is about life. It's about inspiring people that may be going through. I'm using that as a tool through athletics to inspire and motivate people. But you can apply this to real life situations. So it's a book that I think can be a resource to anybody that interested in maybe sports, that may be interested in just life in general.
Mm-hmm.
I will say on what is this? National Teachers Appreciation Day? Or was that yesterday? Is that today?
Yesterday.
I show you appreciation. I show you appreciation as an educator, as a mentor, not to just basketball players, like you say, but to individuals that will eventually groom other individuals. So I salute you, Coach. And again, it's always good to see you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Well, Coach, that's got to wrap us up here today. We enjoyed it, and just give us a last word, and we're gonna get on out of here.
Well, I really appreciate y'all having me on, but I want to leave you with this thought. All right, win the power of the mind every day.
Win the mind of power every day.
No, win the power of the mind every day.
Every day.
Right.
I love it.
I got you, Coach.
Hey, Coach, you got some folks. So you got your fan club still here. You've got Pamela Barnwell. She says she bought the book and can't wait to read it. Great coach, so much knowledge.
I appreciate you.
Okay,
Pam, thank you for buying the book.
Yeah, thank you, Pam. That's Ryan. Is that your son?
That's my son, Ryan.
Yeah.
Hey, my man.
Yeah.
Hey, if my
He
family
said I'm a
can't
little
be
biased.
Yeah.
I'm a little biased, but yeah, it's good.
Now, Ryan is a coach at Southern University. He's a
Really?
basketball coach there.
Right there in Bate Root, y'all.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's one of the reasons why we're here.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Great. Hey, the coaching the coaching has changed. When I say change, it's just it's a business, and now the kids has got into it as a student, and it's hard. Whew. I could be a coach now. Oh no, shoot.
Yeah,
It's
A
different.
different world.
It's different. You got different kids and come from different background and different. I don't know. It's just crazy.
Tony,
You go on
I got to address this. Mary Williams said Paw Price.
Yeah, I saw that.
Paw is for old folk. My grandkids call me Pops because I'm cool like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to change my name from Paw too. Then
Paw.
That make me seem like I'm 80 years old.
No, 91. Well, all them grandkids you have. God,
Yeah, I love all 9 of them though. So
yeah. Well, I know your Easter holidays were full.
that's okay though. It's okay. It's okay. You only live one time. So
Hey man, I could imagine.
Hey,
I was just about to say, I bet you build all kinds of new memories every day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I hope you got a basketball player in there.
I got one.
Hey, well, Ted, it's great to have you on board, man. I'm glad to have you as our guest. I'm excited about it, and we'll wish you good luck with your book. And again, we're going to come back and visit with you again one day, hopefully, when you become famous behind that book.
All right.
And Francis
book club.
And Francis.
Hey, Francis, put the word out. Tell all your girlfriends. You can help me make this book a bestseller.
Yeah, we gotta know what's in that thing.
No, before we leave, Coach, just pin me this. Before we leave, Coach, what chapter is Francis in?
It had to be somewhere between 2009 and 2011.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening to our podcast, Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. We're here every Sundays and Tuesdays at 7 o'clock p.m. every week. Thank you again, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Thank you for watching Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. Be sure to like and subscribe to all Knowledge is Power social media pages.